Wednesday edition of the Blue Review. I'm Greg Bergman, Big CY, Clinton Yates right over there. And the Blue Review is always presented by Los Angeles International Airport, where changes are arriving daily to help reduce traffic, save travelers time, and transform the travel experience. We might see a little bit of a transformation with the Dodgers in September as Walker Buehler thinks he's going to be back September 1st. Now, just for a little context, Clinton, I'm not sure how you feel about this. He had Tommy John surgery, and now he wants to be back September 1st. The trainers are telling him to ramp it down just a little bit because they don't like the way that he's going too fast. But he says, that's not the way that I work, and I want to be ready September 1st. How do you feel about this?
I don't love it, mainly because the idea of a starter coming back to be a reliever on what is effectively a rehab portion at that stage of the season just feels like a recipe for disaster. You don't know where the team is going to be at that point. You presume they're going to be in the hunt. You presume these games are going to be important. And for a guy who, look, many people have believed that for the past 4 seasons, he's been their best actual pitcher in terms of the stuff that he has. And it just feels too risky. Like coming back in September in general is a very tough play if you don't play every day. I mean, I guess that's what he wants to try to do by getting into the relief corps. I don't love it. It just seems like too many variables in too many places for a team that's already a little too good to have this kind of desperation.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to have Walker Buehler back. And if he comes back September 1st, then maybe he can even get a couple starts in and possibly be starting in the playoffs. I mean, I don't really think that's the right way to go. I'm with you on that. But he was the best. He was the ace as of last year. Julio Urias is probably the best pitcher that they had before all that, but he was the ace. He was the opening day starter. That was the guy. But the problem that I think with it too is that I want him healthy for next year, and I think that's the most important thing because now you're going to lose Urias most likely. He's a Scott Boras client. He's probably gone. And bringing back Buehler kind of eases that just a little bit in those. So then you have Buehler, May, Gonsolin, and Kershaw, who, depending on what's going on with him. So I think then you have a really good pitching staff going into the next year. If he's ready to go and he's 100%, sure. But if you're going into the bullpen, probably not 100%, are you?
No. And I also think like there's a question of whether or not, I mean, what point do you have to be at to say we absolutely need Walker Buehler back on our staff that late in the season? That to me is a real question because, again, September is late. You have figured out whether or not you are any good or not. It just, I don't know. He's a team leader. I understand that. I understand that he's also been out for a while, so he probably just really wants to play baseball. But It just seems like too awkward of a time of the season to be trying to get back in when you don't know what you have. I mean, yes, presumably he'll be 100%, but those games matter. I mean, they all matter. You know what I mean? And so like that late in the season, to me, that's just, I don't know. I don't love it.
So, I mean, they did it with Dustin May last year. Tony Gonsolin never got a little bit injured going on there, but Dustin May was coming off of Tommy John and he pitched in the postseason. It didn't go great. He wasn't like fantastic by any means going into that situation. Right. So, I mean, they've tried it in the past is what I mean. And I don't know. It's just not really my thing.
It's not for me. And, you know, to be quite honest, like judging by what I saw yesterday at the ballpark not that I was there, but yesterday from the Dodgers, like they can't just screw around and win games. Like, you know, execution matters. And so these are the kind of margins that I think are really bit important. You know, yesterday, Clayton Kershaw gets blown up a little. He got thrown 90 pitches through 4 innings. That wasn't great. This was this is the kind of game where you say, all right, you know, you look at it, mistakes were made. You cannot be double stealing with Max Muncy. This is not acceptable. That just does not work.
Not as the front guy.
Not when he's at third. And I just feel that the margins are too close, victory to victory for me, for the Dodgers to be taking big risks on various roster positions. But, you know, I like Walker Buehler, Vandy guy. I think he's he's got more of the bulldog in him than people probably want to admit. And I just don't think that coming back in September as a reliever makes sense in May, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. And going back to last night, Kershaw, I mean, it's 90 pitches through 4 innings is way too many for him. He was hitting 90 to 100 pitches through 6 and 7. Right. So, I mean, it just was a little bit of an off night for him, which is going to happen every once in a while. Totally fine. And this Minnesota Twins team is actually a good team. I mean, they're first place in the Central Division by probably a little bit of a decent margin right now. Yeah. And, you know, they're playing first place teams right now, the Dodgers. They're not going to win every single game. And
No.
especially after the night before, when they go through 12 and they give up runs and they're going to, it's a bit of an issue. So hopefully they get through it today and they can win this series, because winning 2-3 against a team like Minnesota is pretty
Big.
good right now.
It's very big.
Yep.
Very big. Absolutely.
Yep. All right. Blue Review, Clinton Yates, Greg Bergman. We'll see you again mañana.